Hey guys, it's currently July 21st, 2025. Happy summer. So this is what we did today. We went into Viennese Waltz. I'm gonna go over class stuff first, just briefly. If you're doing a beginning Viennese Waltz class, here are the patterns I suggest. First off, we have our balance step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing going forward and backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll allow people, when they're doing their dance, and when they need a break, they can just pop forward with the momentum. Okay, I need a break. Instead of having to rely on going sideways all the time. All right, next thing that we had was the left turn. So that can either be, I recommend going feet together when you're teaching beginners. But you can teach the standard version, which is the cross in front to the heels together as well. Then you had two options from here. The first option that I recommend the most has to do with doing progressives, where you do a left turn to a progressive constantly back to doing left turns again. So that's the one I recommend the most. That'll be simple. And then the other option that you can do is you can do a left turn, and then on the 4, 5, 6, take this left hand down and do a crossbody lead where the follower takes 3 forward steps here. And then you switch into it. I'm going to show that from the follower's side because it makes more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I actually screwed that up. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And away we go. So that would be the footwork for the followers. If you want to do a crossbody lead. That mainly has to do with opening up this right arm and lowering this left hand as a leader. Okay. From there, we then started talking about some technique for you guys. One of the first things that we talked about was fleckerals. I think I said that right. I have a lisp. I'm going to blame that. So first off, when you go into the spins here, the footwork, from what I learned from you, changes underneath you. But what doesn't change is the fact that the leader is going to start off, mostly because most social dancers are not going to be in diaphragm contact or have the technique to share the pivot point. You're going to have the leader be the pivot point instead. So whenever I go to rotate around, if I am in the hook part of my turn, I'm going to, 1, open up this right hip and allow my toe to come out, but I'm not going to put weight back on this foot. I'm going to imagine that my left foot is in the center of the pole and that my right foot is just helping me paddle around that while I stay over this left foot. Same thing when I go to cross, but everything changes a little bit. What I'll do is when I go to change, I'm going to put my feet together, so my right foot is now taking the pole of the turn, and my left foot is now the one that's paddling around. Once again, I'm not putting my weight back on this left foot and keeping that heel in the air so that I can rotate on this axis. The follower will do the exact same thing. The only difference is that she'll move a little bit more since she's going around the axis at this point. Okay. Next thing about that is when you go to alternate, if I start off open, closing the feet, and I hook, is just to remember to keep the weight centered on the forward foot rather than pulling it to the back foot. Okay, moving on. So the next thing we started talking about had to do with guiding momentum. So what I had you do is I had you guys jog around the room. And if you did a normal jog, no big deal, your momentum's going. But then I had you rotate around in different directions. So you'd rotate to the right for a while, and then maybe you hold it and then rotate to the left. What makes this easier is there's 2 ways you can change directions and make it nice and fun. One is to hold the momentum angle. So if I turn to the right, and then I keep holding this right angle, and then turn to the left, it's easier. You guys are probably just going to follow me with your hands, so I'll stop resetting. So if I turn to the right, cool, I'm at the right, I'm holding it, now I'll turn to the left. Cool, I'm at the left, and then I'll turn to the right. So that would be very similar to if I was dancing and rotating, and then I decided to do a check and then come back the other direction, right? You can also tighten this to where instead you could go to the right, 1, 2, 3, and then directly back to the left. But what you do is you let your upper body rotate until it feels like you've almost done another turn. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm about to go for another turn, but then I change direction. I feel like I'm about to go to another turn, then I change direction.
That's the rubber band.
That's the rubber band. The thing that you're going to feel, and this is important to the next thing I'm about to talk about, is that when we rotate around, and I do take this step, I let my upper body go a little bit beyond where my hips are. I'll do this on the other side so it's easier to see. My hips are facing this way, but I let my upper body come back enough to where my upper body goes slightly beyond my hips, which will then let me unwind my body when I rotate around. Okay. When did we use this? Well, what I had you do is I had you do a open left, or sorry, not open left, just a left turn in Viennese. Left turn, and then from here I had you stop and then rotate back around the other way rather than putting a check step in the middle. Now, I'm going to go over leader stuff first for this. When you go into this, 4, 5, 6, you can have your feet together here. There's no problem with that. Or you can have your feet apart with your knees bent. There's no problem with that either. I care less about the feet and I care more about the upper body doing that extra bit of twist I talked about. Then when you go to start this, you have to step right foot right in between your partner's feet, just like you would in a pivot turn. Then you can go into your flecker holds, into that. So I'll do that once again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, so that's generally what it's going to look like without a partner. As a follower, your head position can help with this a lot. So, ideally, if you have a partner like Paul or myself, who's actually creating shape with their upper body, your head position is determined by which side of the body is up and which side is down. So when I start off doing this left turn, my left side is up, so it pulls my head to the right. When I do the next part into the cross, my right side is higher, so my head's to the left. That's what you should ideally be doing. You might need to create this yourself by creating sway for yourself. So going 1 and then swaying 2, 3, so that you can control your own head position if you're dancing with somebody who doesn't have the sway in their frame. So 1, 2, 3. When you go backwards on your 1, that's when your head will go to the right. When you come forwards on your 1, that's when your head will come to the left. Okay, now when we get into the fleckerolls part here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When he starts to twist, I'll likely start to bring my head to the right, and then when we go into it, I'll bring my head back to the left, which will actually help us go into that turn. So the slowdown will be head right, and then back to the left. Yeah? Rather than we get here, my head's still left, and now this feels awkward. This will help with the rubber band effect. Yeah? And it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be very small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excuse me. I've been turning too many times this fight. I keep thinking lead, follow, lead, follow, lead, follow. Follow, 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 back. So you notice there, I went to the right for a second and then back to the left. It doesn't have to be huge. In Viennese Waltz, it's very likely to be right, left. Rather than right, we sit in it and then back to the left. Only if you want to take up that much time. All right, cool. So that's for the new version of the flecker rolls without the check. Now we took this into a basic right turn to left. So if I'm leading a right turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I get to the point where I'm doing a change step, I don't want to just do this square. because it cuts out all the momentum and twist and rubber band effect. So what I want to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let myself over rotate a bit, and then use that twist to then rotate back the other direction. Same thing as a follower. You're gonna want that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. See how my left side is back? I allow my left side to sway more than my right. Even if my partner tries to go square, I'm gonna try to shoot for this left shoulder back, so that when we then change direction, I can then rotate. I keep trying to do flanker rolls now.
They're fun.
You can tell I'm tired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll see that natural twist will happen. Okay. All right, next thing. Then we started talking about flight overall. How do you create flight? How do you make the dance easier for yourself? One thing I didn't talk about too much is to keep your body relaxed. When you're dancing to fast music, you're going to want to tense up. In order to find perfect tone in your body, dance to fast music, but breathe and try to relax every muscle you can get away with. It's a hard practice, but it pays off. Okay. Then what I talked about is that if you're moving sideways, taking little tiny steps isn't going to get you very far. Instead, you need to step outside of your hip in order to absorb all the momentum you're creating. However, if you do that by itself, you're going to eventually topple over because you don't have anything slowing you down either when you need it. So you're going to have your head and your sway be the thing that keeps you slowed down. So my lower body feels like it's going way faster than my upper body. But you'll notice, as you can tell by me doing this with the shoulders, that I'll create sway in the upper body so that my foot on 2 and my head are always countering each other. Now, Donna, especially for you, because followers get less practice at this, is the fact that when you step forward on a 1, you have to step on the heel to go through your partner. If you don't, you're going to stunt your movement so that you can't actually swing forward through your leader. So make sure you're stepping forward on the heels. I don't care what ballroom dance you're dancing, always practice taking a heel step on your 1s. I don't care if it's foxtrot, waltz, tango, whatever. Heel step when you go forward. Okay. Was there anything else on that? No, aside from that, if you put all these elements together, you'll notice that the dance, once you start to master these, will feel effortless. Viennese Waltz will feel very relaxed and chill because all these techniques will do the work for you versus feeling like you have to use your feet to push you around or being straight up and down where you're being grounded into the earth and you can't move, right? You should be riding the momentum rather than the momentum being dead because you can't get to it. All right, see you next time.
Thank you.